Hey everybody, it's Henry with the Film Buds podcast. Please make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, please let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks. 92. Let's get to Hypnotic, which is another 2023 release. It's available currently on Peacock to stream. It's co-written and directed by Robert Rodriguez. Stars Ben Affleck, Alice Braga, J.D. Pardo, William Fichtner, Jackie Earle Haley. Not a huge cast, really. And the synopsis is a detective investigates a mystery involving his missing daughter and a secret government program. So this is one that I don't even remember when this came out. I think it was one of those that just got swept under the rug. It got pretty bad reviews. I don't think it did well financially. It was just a big dud as far as I'm aware. It really surprises me that it wasn't just put on Netflix or something. It seems like it's one of those movies that I don't know who this movie is really for. And I feel like Netflix or another streaming site probably would have been a better pick than a theatrical release. But didn't have a huge interest in seeing it. I do like Robert Rodriguez to a certain degree. I did like Alita Battle Angel recently. I don't seek his movies out right away, but I'm still curious as to what he's making. And I also like Ben Affleck overall. He definitely has a big share of misfires in his career, maybe more so than a lot of other actors, but I still typically watch what he does, and I think he's made some really great movies. And I wanted to like the movie a lot. I didn't know a whole lot about it going in. I knew it was sort of sci-fi kind of thing, but that was about it. And I really wanted to like it. I was actually liking it for maybe the first act or so, but once the big twist happens, it feels like a mix between, I don't know, like Inception, Shutter Island, that sort of thing. Very Christopher Nolan in a way, and really, I think, very derivative of Nolan, like too much. And I think the first half where there is this mind controller of sorts, I won't go into it too much in case you haven't seen it or you want to watch it, where he's basically just able to speak to people and they're completely oblivious as to what's happening. So he kind of creates like an army and does like bank robberies and stuff. And that almost not inherently as a bad thing. It kind of felt like a supernatural episode or something. And so that was kind of interesting because I like that show and my wife and co-host loves that show. But really, when that middle point happens, I felt like the twist was like I couldn't tell you what was really going on, why they were doing what they were doing. Like the final few minutes, I'm like, I was completely lost. And maybe I missed something or I just lost interest and focus, but I felt like the plot was very, very nonsensical. And what's frustrating is I felt like the first half, the plot, while very ridiculous, I was following it along fairly well. And I liked how committed it was to explaining, all right, these like mind controllers can do this. You're not able to be victimized because of this reason, and like it was very committed to explaining that idea. I was like, all right, cool, I like that, I can appreciate that, even though it's so stupid. But it just went too far later on, and there's a lot of Inception visuals where like the city will kind of roll up into the sky, that kind of thing, the very iconic thing from Inception. So it really wears its influences too heavily on its sleeve to where there's not much original in it. Ben Affleck is okay. I think he's better in some scenes than in others. He's a little inconsistent, and he's someone who, like, when he cares, he can be fantastic, and when he doesn't, he can be such a bore. And I think Alice Braga, I see her in a lot of things. I think she's very solid always. I like some of the locations. The action is decent. I think the bank robbery stuff is probably the most interesting, but overall, not really a fan. I'm definitely in agreement with the majority here this time, and I feel like it's just going to get lost on a streaming site one day and not thought about much anymore, which is maybe mean to say, but I think that's how it's going to be. And probably my least favorite Robert Rodriguez movie in quite some time. I don't think he has done a movie that I'm like 5 out of 5 masterpiece, but this is by far my least favorite that he's done in a while. So, as always, let me know what you think in the comments. If you're listening to this on YouTube or wherever else, would like to know what you think. So that one is a 2 out of 5.